Hey y'all, I do apologize. I have been out all evening at an engagement, but let's go ahead and run through a Royals recap, shall we? Welcome to the podcast. My name is Jacob Milham. I'm one half of the Royals Rundown podcast. If you're listening to this, chances are you already know what Royals Review is, but if you don't, you are missing out on the best resource available for your Kansas City Royals fandom. News, analysis, game threads, game recaps, and much, much more over at RoyalsReview.com. So, as I come to you today, the boys had a late afternoon game. First pitch was at 3:05 Kauffman Standard Time, and by the time dinner time rolled around, boom, Royals lost 6-0. And despite a really, really good return from Michael Wacha, 5 innings, only 1 earned run and 5 strikeouts to 1 walk, just nothing else went right. Nothing else went right for the Royals. And that was, granted, there's some good plays out in the field. Let me clarify that. There was that. But the lineup only mustered 3 hits. Didn't draw a single walk, struck out 9 times. Vinny Pasquantino twice, Nick Loftin twice, in what very well may be his last appearance for the Royals, with Michael Massey set to return soon. MJ Melendez, who has been on a good run lately, 2 strikeouts of his own. Maikel Garcia batting 7th tonight. 1 strikeout, no hits, nothing from him. It felt like the boys could get back into this, because it was 1-0 through the top of the 8th. I was like, gosh, dang it. Like, they needed to strike in the 8th. That I would have felt good if they would have tied it up then heading into the 9th. But no, they didn't do it. I was like, okay, well, let's still go at the top of the 9th. Let's just hold them scoreless here. Lo and behold, that did not happen. All right, Will Smith came in the 6th. Only allowed 1 hit, no runs himself. Good job. Chris Stratton, another former Texas Ranger. Didn't allow a single hit, did walk a batter though, but no runs charged to him. And so you go through, and Nick Anderson, he also had a scoreless appearance tonight. Like, well, John Schreiber pitched last night, Sam Long pitched last night. Who else is left to blow up in the Royals bullpen? And unfortunately, it is another guy who has found success this season. Just getting blown up, obliterated. Angel Zerpa, coming out in the bottom of the 8th. 3 hits, 5 earned runs. Thanks to a grand slam. It is so... I tweeted about this. If you missed it, go follow me, Jacob Milham KC. I tweeted about this, and it still holds true hours after the game ended. This is the worst I have felt about the Royals all season. They've only lost 2 in a row, but they have dropped yet another series to an AL West team. They have lost more ground in the AL Central, and lost most of the sizable lead they had in the wild card as well. As I sit and talk to you today, they're 42-36 heading into Sunday's game. Like, what? What are we... And it's one part of the frustration is the fact that this is feeling a lot like 2023 all of a sudden. One of my biggest sayings in 2023 was that the Royals are playing at a talent disadvantage. Okay, there was the discussion to take Maikel Garcia out of the leadoff spot. Cool, understand it. He wasn't getting it done. But then you take that to step 2. Who are you going to put in the leadoff spot? You're not going to put Bobby there. One of the few guys who can drive in runs, or used to be at least. Who else are you going to put there? Nick Loftin didn't get it done. Adam Frazier is an option. He did get a hit tonight, so that's good. But, throw him out there again, see what happens. they're running out of options in the lineup. They're running out of options in the bullpen. And we already know how precariously shallow the starting pitching depth is in this system. I get it. Chris Bubich is back in Omaha. He's looking good. I hope he's back sooner rather than later. But I don't think this team trusts Daniel Lynch IV anymore. I don't think they trust Anthony Veneziano anymore to come up for a spot start. Maybe Jonathan Bolin. But this was such a... to be fair, I listened to most of it. I listened to most of the game. I caught some highlights afterwards. I'm going to go home. I'm going to watch the condensed game. And I'm driving through East Coast traffic. And I'm yelling at the radio, honestly, in the same tone that I'm talking to you tonight. Because what the hell are they doing? And people can blame Q all you want. Okay? He's not perfect. He's not a perfect manager. There is not a perfect manager, I will remind you. And secondly, as I told about that second step, what else is he supposed to do? He has no high leverage options left in the bullpen. He has no viable person to replace Maikel Garcia or a person that he can turn to and say, hey, we need a little bit more from you, from your bat today. It's supposed to be Bobby Witt Jr. And it hasn't been. This sounds silly, but his batting average and OPS are just plummeting. Okay, we were talking about MVP numbers not too long ago. Literally, Jeremy and I talked about it on the last podcast. Is this Bobby Witt Jr.'s MVP campaign? And what does he have in the last 7 games? Not a whole lot. Especially not what you want from an MVP caliber player. He has a 207 batting average, only an 2.33 on base percentage. That is not sustainable in the top third of your lineup. Now, you look at his last month, and he still has crazy good numbers. He really does. But damn, the last 2 series have been brutal for the Royals offense and Bobby Witt Jr. in particular. And you know, we're looking at Sunday's game, closing up the series against the Rangers. First pitch is at 1:35 Kauffman Standard Time. Alec Marsh is taking the mound again. Like, I don't know what version of Alec Marsh we're gonna get, because he's had he had allowed 7 runs to the A's. The outing after he pitched a 7-inning, 1-hit shutout against the New York freaking Yankees. Okay, which Alec Marsh are we going to get? We flip a coin. Almost. And we'll see which one we get. I am hoping, and my gut feeling says that we're going to get a quality start from Alec Marsh tomorrow. But unfortunately, with this lineup, that might not even be enough. And guess what? Probable pitcher for the Rangers is Max freaking Scherzer, making his 2024 debut. This just screams a recipe for disaster for the Kansas City Royals. And how is the Kauffman faithful going to feel when the boys return to Kauffman Stadium, losing the whole road trip? I'm not saying they lost every single game, but you can't come back home and feel good about that road trip if they lose on Sunday. I think even if they win on Sunday, you can't feel good about it. There's so few positives to pull from. Now, I am frustrated. I'm going to talk to Jeremy about this a little bit more on the podcast tomorrow night. We're recording at 5 p.m. Eastern, so that should be after the final game, and we'll see what our mood is. But as I sit here today, I am, for the first time this season, I understand the pessimists. I understand the naysayers. And frankly, They're looking like the smart ones right now. All right, I'm going to get on out of here. It's late. Thank you so much for listening to me. Once again, go check out RoyalsReview.com for everything you need as a Kansas City Royals fan. You can also follow them on Facebook and X at Royals Review. You can follow the podcast on X. That's a great way to stay connected with us at Royal Rundown Pod. Also, I know it is hard as hell to reach out on social media. Okay, the whole X thing, you don't have message requests anymore unless you pay the money. Okay, I know we all don't want to do that. So, down in the podcast description below is my email. If you want to say something to me, say, Jacob, you're off your rocker. Jacob, I agree with you. Go and say it to me. I love hearing from you guys. Drop me an email. It's down in the podcast description. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm going to get out of here. My name is Jacob Milham. And until next time, go Royals!